Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hunter. Welcome back to the Baseball Head 2. And hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So, we're going to talk about the labor strife. We're going to have some labor problems next year. And we're going to have a lockout after next season. And it's all basically because Steve Cohen bought the Mets, and they don't want him to spend a lot of money, and they're going to drag the whole entire industry down to make sure the players adhere to the salary cap. And this is going to be a major problem, even though they say that Manfred is downplaying it. But this is going to be really bad. And I'm concerned because I saw with the last time we had a lockout, I lost money. And I don't want to lose money, when this is part of my business. But we're going to talk about it here because it's important. This is from Outkick. While Manfred downplays salary cap showdown with Harper, MLB lockout appears inevitable. League commissioner recently addressed the expletive-laden clubhouse incident with Phillies star Bryce Harper. Major League Baseball Rob Manfred has made it clear that he intends to push for a salary cap in the next round of labor negotiations. And when the 30 owners and MLB Players Association sit down at the end of the 26th season, that salary cap issue will become one of the most contentious issues in the league's history. Here's the thing. The players do not have a good relationship with Rob Manfred. They had a great relationship with Bud Selig. He got along with the players. He loved the players. Okay? That's a big reason why there was always good back and forth between Bud and the players. Because the players knew that he loved the game and he loved the players, and this guy doesn't care. Okay? And this guy does not care for the betterment of the game. There were things that should have happened in the last few years. We talked about it, about how they didn't do much about cracking down on the cheating going on. They have sort of a two-tiered justice system in Major League Baseball. They were so quick to suspend Emmanuel Clase, but then they were so quick to sort of clean their hands of the Shohei Ohtani situation. So there is a lot of acrimony. A lot of it comes from the Houston Astros situation and some other teams along the way before that, while he was commissioner, that they looked the other way on. But now this thing with the salary cap, and we saw it was very contentious, with the last work stoppage 4 years ago. So this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. Real Armageddon. This might be worse than 1994. Perhaps nothing indicates is better than Philadelphia Phillies star Bryce Harper telling Manfred exactly how he and most of the players feel about a potential salary cap. If you're talking about salary cap, you can get the F out. At the clubhouse. Harper reportedly said in a clubhouse meeting. For the players, a salary cap represents effective non-starter. Cap systems generally restrict the players' earning potential, which is part of the reason why the NFL has an average salary over $2 million lower than MLB, despite much higher revenues. Harper's reaction is likely shared by most of the league's players, and Manfred finally addressed it when speaking at Wrigley Field recently. His comments don't exactly inspire confidence. He doesn't at all. There's no leadership here. He's just an empty suit. Like I said, he's not Bud Selig. He has no leadership qualities. He's got nothing to sort of hang his hat on. He's just a lawyer, an empty-suited lawyer. Manfred downplayed the incident earlier this month, claiming they shook hands at the end of the conversation. I don't talk about those player meetings Manfred said at Wrigley Field last week. Let me say this. I think more that has been made out of this than needs to be made out of it. Bryce expressed his views at the end of the meeting. We shook hands and went our separate ways. Not all that significant. He also expressed optimism that the two sides will find a way to come to an arrangement. It is natural that when we get to the end of a collective bargaining agreement, some people have trepidation about what's going to happen. I'm optimistic that we'll find a way to make a deal. Manfred pointed to his record on labor relations negotiated since '98 as evidence that the owners and players can avoid a work stoppage. I came in-house in 1998. We haven't had a work stoppage that affected the season since that time. 3 of those deals, I was the chief negotiator. 2 of them, I was the commissioner. That's a pretty good record, and I think we can do it again. Here's the difference. The article continues. The salary cap was not the owner's primary objective during those previous negotiations. It seems to be their primary objective now. Given the staunch and united opposition to it among the players, the lockout is virtually guaranteed. Where it extends all the way into the 27th season remains to be seen, but any lost games will be a disaster for the league, and sport finally regains some momentum. As for Harper's specific remarks, Manfred again chose to act as though it would have no impact on future relationships. Quote, it was an individual picking a particular way to express it himself. I don't think you need to make more out of it than that. Okay? You know, I mean, the thing about Harper is a very respected player in Major League, amongst the players, and amongst fans, quite frankly. You know, this is one of the real good guys in the game, and if he's saying this, you take that to the bank that there's going to be a big problem when we get to the negotiation table. This is a non-starter for the players because they know that this will restrict their ability to make money. But like I said at the beginning of this video, this is all about one person having bought the New York Mets, and that's Steve Cohen. They want to restrict him from spending so much money that they can't compete with him. They can't compete with him now when it comes to money. And people are going to the ballpark, you know, filling up the ballpark like crazy. So now he's starting to see the revenue coming in. And he's losing money. I mean, he's lost money, but he doesn't care if he's losing money, he's trying to win. We know about the Cohen tax. We know about the penalty. That the Mets, they spend a certain amount of money, they lose like 10 spots in the draft. It's terrible. With Major League Baseball, all those sort of penalties the Mets get just for trying to be great, you know. And this is just another hamstring, to be honest with you. And the owners don't want to be compared. They want to. I mean, there's so many bad teams in Major League Baseball that don't spend money. The Pirates don't spend money. The Rockies don't spend money. When the Rockies do, it's bad money. And you have the Marlins. They don't spend money. They don't do anything with their money. You have teams that don't have homes. I mean, the Oakland Athletics aren't the Oakland Athletics. They have no home. The Athletics are a homeless team. You have the Tampa Bay Rays. They're a homeless team. Now, their ballpark got blown, you know, had the roof blown off. And the A's have been a disaster for a long time. And Major League Baseball's let them sort of continue on with this selling players, move players. And, of course, we've had teams tanking. And if it wasn't for them implementing a rule that they couldn't tank, this would still continue. But this is Armageddon. I mean, this is going to be Armageddon. And like I also said at the beginning of this video, I'm very concerned as a YouTuber that makes most of my money online through videos talking about the Mets and strays and stuff. It's tough. You know, that's a major concern. And before you know it, this season's going to be over, next season's going to be over. And then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do here. And that is a concern. It should be a concern to every YouTuber that is independent from the system. These corporate people, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care if I lose money. They don't care if other individuals lose money online. They don't care. So they'll push for the lockout. They'll push for a labor strife because it gives them something different to talk about. And they need that tension. I don't need the tension. I don't need the headache. Or the worry that my Mets aren't going to play because of some bullshit with the owners and the players. You know. Well, you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut 2. I'll see you later.